New SEC coaching hires, hopeful playoff teams, and an SEC championship between Alabama and Georgia. It is time to get the squad together.
You're talking ball with the SEC squad. From Alabama to Tennessee, from Georgia to Oklahoma, from Auburn to Texas, it's the local experts of the Locked On Podcast Network bringing you scoops, breakdowns, and the most comprehensive preview of the upcoming SEC weekend. It's the SEC squad, and we have a seat for you. Hurt feelings and thin skin are prohibited. Squad up, you're part of the SEC squad.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the SEC squad. Sit back, grab your favorite beverage, and join us as we get you ready for one more week of talking all things SEC, at least here in the regular season into conference championship weekend. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to be right in the middle of the action throughout this season, visit FanDuel.com. Place your NFL live bets all season long. Let's welcome in our SEC squad tonight. We've got Brandon Olsen of Locked On Gators, Stephen Willis, Locked On Ole Miss, Corey Burton, Locked On Vandy, John Miller, Locked On Mizzou. I'm Chris Gordy, Locked On SEC. And guys, as we get started here, what a wild couple of days it's been. We've got new SEC hires. We have Lane Kiffin to LSU. We have Alex Golesh to Auburn. We have Jon Sumrall at Florida. We have Ryan Silverfield at Arkansas. We have Pete Golding at Ole Miss, and old Will Stein getting hired at Kentucky. So what a wild couple of days it's been. But I'll open it up. Which hire intrigues you the most?
Jon Sumrall to Florida, I think, for me personally. I don't know why, something about it. I just got a good feeling about it. I'm excited for it. I'm jacked up on Mountain Dew because of him. I'm going to let you know that right now. I'm looking forward to that one. We need a badass. We got a badass. Could go horribly. Could go great, but we got a badass. And I will at least take solace in knowing that I will not watch my team give up 250 rushing yards to Kentucky again and again and again. We might not win a lot of football games. Who knows how it'll go? But won't have a soft issue on defense anymore.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Pete Golding. I mean, obviously, right? We want to see what happens there, the transition from one to the other. And I also appreciate Ole Miss in their coaches show this season. Not one clip of Lane Kiffin for 22 minutes for the Egg Bowl and afterwards. That was petty and wonderful.
Nice.
Corey, John?
I'll say this. I was nauseated by a lot of the Lane Kiffin experience like everybody else, or I think most people, let's put it that way. But I'm going to take a slightly different lane take here, which I actually think that having a heel, a bad guy for college football is actually going to be fantastic for the sport. If you look at Major League Baseball right now, everybody's whining about the Los Angeles Dodgers. Well, I haven't heard this kind of national talk or interest in the sport in the 2020s. I just think having a guy that most of the country is going to be rooting against, I think it's going to be great for the sport. I really do. Entertaining as hell.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. And since Auburn is one of Vandy's permanent opponents, that one I'm taking the most interest in, Alex Golesh. I think they did well hiring him. I think with South Florida, he came in and turned around. And sorry, Brandon, they came into Gainesville and
you could have just completely avoided that part of the conversation. Like you could have just glossed over it. You could have been like, yeah, he got an SEC win. You could have just said that.
So sorry, Brandon. But yeah, honestly, like what he did at South Florida, turning that program around and just getting them to play at a high level with what he walked into is incredible. And I think he's walking into an equal mess at Auburn. And I think he's the guy that's going to be able to clean that up. Also, Jon Sumrall is my favorite hire of the bunch. I think Florida did the best in that regard. So this will be a fun cycle. I think the SEC did really well. Even Arkansas, I think, did okay. They're not excited about it, but I think Silverfield will be
well,
okay.
let me give you, because John Neighbors isn't here this week, but man, it has been Debbie Doomsday on our group chat with him.
No, not Neighbors.
This is what he said this morning in our group text. I have a coach that finished 7th in the AAC. Who gives a bleep? So
he's not wrong. I would just like to
factually
revisit.
Correct.
Yeah, I would just like to revisit for Corey talking about Alex Golesh. I thought that was honestly an A+ hire. First off, I'm a big fan of Alex Golesh. I think that when you talk about like resumes and everything, it's tough, and I think that we're at a time where teams are hiring more unknowns than knowns, right? Like I know Florida fans complained about hiring Jon Sumrall because they were like, we don't want another group of 5 guys. Look across the SEC. Florida, Jon Sumrall. Auburn, Alex Golesh. Arkansas, Ryan Silverfield. Kentucky, Will Stein, not a G5 guy, but never been a head coach before, and now you got him there. And of course, Stephen Willis with Pete Golding as a DC, now a head coach. Which, if I'm not mistaken, he's also never been a head coach, even at a lower level.
His first game will be the playoffs.
Yeah, there we go. So you have all that going. Like I know people can complain about an unproven G5 guy, but teams are swinging on unproven and trying to get by it. I think Alex Golesh is a fantastic hire. But I think keeping DJ Durkin made it that much better. Like he went into USF when they weren't investing as much in football, and he got them to be one of the highest paid G5 rosters in the country. Part of that was because of him being able to get buy-in from the boosters and the administration and all that. And also, I mentioned Jon Sumrall as a badass. Alex Golesh is a Russian that was raised in Brooklyn. Like, you don't get more badass than that. So,
Yeah.
The way he answered the golf question in the press conference was outstanding. He's like, I see what you're doing. He goes, I see what you're doing. That's a trap question. My wife is great at golf. My kids hate golf. I love football. I'm terrible at golf, by the way.
So one thing that's interesting, I do think that Ryan Silverfield has the lowest expectation bar to clear, so it's going to be a good thing for Arkansas fans once it starts. And USF, by the way, I want to give them credit. They got Brian Hartline, who at the beginning of this whole cycle, everybody was talking about Penn State or all these big jobs. Yeah, and he's going to USF. So they're getting a new stadium. They're going to have Brian Hartline. They're not going to slow down there. And whenever that stadium gets built, they're going to be in the Big 12.
What's fascinating too is you guys mentioned all the G5 guys and coordinators getting chances. I think it was James Franklin going to Virginia Tech and Kiffin going to LSU. Are those the only big power conference coaches that transition somewhere else? It seems like everybody's like catch a rising star. And we mentioned Ryan Silverfield. He is 20 years younger than Sam Pittman. Sam Pittman's 64, 65. Ryan Silverfield is 45. I mean, so it's, I don't know if Ryan Silverfield's going to be any good, but I like that. And then Will Stein, 36 at Kentucky. He's a child, but it's catch a rising star, right? Like, if this works out, this could be our guy. And the same thing, Pete Golding's not super young, but he's, mid-40s.
He's 40.
Okay, so
he's a fairly young guy.
He doesn't look it. I'll tell you, with that hair, he doesn't look it.
Doesn't he look like the prototypical Ole Miss student? Like what you would think it would be in an encyclopedia? Yeah, he like the Navy coach is the perfect encapsulation of a Navy coach. This is the perfect encapsulation of an Ole Miss student. Yeah.
Hope you enjoy my defensive coordinator, by the way. I'm just assuming he's going there. I hope you enjoy him.
He'll be the third one on the staff, so there's going to be enough going around.
Let me just add too, I know, Steven's not gonna like this, but if the Kiffin, if they give him the resources, I think it's gonna work out at LSU. I think he's gonna win a lot of games. Now, win a championship, it's tough. Make the playoff and anything can happen, but I think all the off the field crap, yes, it's a mess. But Lane Kiffin, in between the lines in the football game going, he's a damn good coach. So we'll see if that works out there.
And if you win, people won't care until you leave, and then all the stuff starts coming out. That's it.
Yeah, and LSU fans and everybody down in Baton Rouge, just don't give him a dog. That's all you need to do.
Well, we'll see if Juice Kiffin goes up there.
Oh no, he won't go.
No. Penn State, by the way, as of this recording, still doesn't have a coach. So that thing is.
I got to announce Penn State's hiring me as head coach. So
yeah, they fired James Franklin. Head start on everybody, and they're going to end up with the guy, the Key and Peele guy that played James Franklin as the head coach.
Do you guys? Now it's funny now that we had this transition with all these new coaches. Do you guys think there's anybody I know we're a ways away from going into next season, but who is most on the hot seat in the SEC going into next year? Eli Drinkwood's got a vote of confidence. Clark Lee gets a vote of confidence. I mean, is it one of the guys playing this weekend? Is it
Kalen DeBoer?
Kalen DeBoer, yeah.
Can we be honest? Because I feel like part of this was, and I don't know how valid it is, right? I'm not making assumptions or generalizations, but it kind of felt like part of the Penn State thing when we heard rumors of Penn State might be interested in Kalen DeBoer. It kind of felt like one of the reasons they kind of sat through this whole process was, if he loses, he might be a guy that is looking for a new job. We could wait for this. And so I do feel like,
he gets shellacked.
Yeah, Kalen DeBoer's first year, people were like, his shirt fire him. Like, come on. Like I feel like that's got to be one of those spots where you're just like, dude, like it sucks to be in that situation. It really does, where it feels like anything can kind of just be the nail in your coffin. But
it's because he's not Saban.
Yeah,
Frank,
he was always screwed too. Just to throw that out there.
I was going to say Frank Beamer and Jeff Lebby. Those were the first two names that kind of jumped out to me.
Shane.
I always do
Frank
that. Yes, Shane. Yeah, Frank's in deep trouble. Yeah, no, Shane Beamer, obviously.
And the wild card in this whole thing, if Steve Sarkisian next year throws up an 8-4, he's going to absolutely be in trouble.
Let me give you another one. Josh Heupel. If they lose 4 or 5 games next year, the Vol fans weren't happy with him this year. So,
Sarkisian might be in the NFL this time next year anyway. He's rumored for some NFL looks this cycle.
And doesn't it feel like A&M losing Colin Klein, that thing could come back down to earth next year? Look, Elko's done a great job, but like
Colin Klein's a hell of an OC, man. I just like
he's good. So good.
Very good.
He's a hell of an OC. And
he's gonna be great. I think he's gonna be a great head coach. He's gonna be a perfect fit at Kansas State.
Yeah, he's an ass.
Yeah, he's going to take over the Big 12.
Seems like he was playing quarterback in the Big 12 like 5 seconds ago to me.
Yeah.
Well, you're old.
That's the thing too. He kind of just popped up. It was like, oh, like he played, and then he was like next thing you know, he was the OC at Texas A&M, and it's like, oh, all right. Well,
it seems like he was playing and OCing at Texas A&M at the same time.
I was covering Houston Texans training camp when Colin Klein was a quarterback there, so that's been a while.
Yeah.
When we return, guys, we do have a game this weekend. We don't have our Georgia or Bama guys on, but we will preview this game when we return. Who you got, Georgia or Alabama, when we return? Squad, talking more ball next.
Vanderbilt's trying to schedule one with Miami, apparently.
Hey, the holidays are officially here, which means gift hunting season is on. And if you want something meaningful, personal, and guaranteed to get a reaction, Aura Frames is the gift that delivers every time. It's not just something you wrap, it's a way to share memories, because Aura isn't your average picture frame. You can preload the frame with photos before you even gift it. So when you plug it in, the memories are already there. No apps to figure out, no setup headaches, just instant smiles. Whether you're looking for something for your grandparents, the newlyweds, whatever it is, check them out. For a limited time, you can save on the perfect gift by visiting auraframes.com. You can get $35 off Aura's best-selling Carver matte frames, named #1 by Wirecutter, by using our promo code COLLEGE at checkout. That is going to be AURA, auraframes.com, promo code COLLEGE. And this deal is exclusive to listeners, and frames sell out fast. So order yours today and get it in time for the holidays. Support the show by mentioning us at checkout. Terms and conditions apply. SEC squad talking more ball here. And guys, we got a game this weekend. It is the SEC championship. It is Georgia versus Alabama. Georgia sitting at about a 2.5-point favorite according to FanDuel. So put it out there. Who you got? Who wins this one?
I took one of my bonus bets over at FanDuel. It's a new thing over at Missouri. You've probably heard 5,000 commercials if you're from my state, but I actually got 1.5. I like Georgia. I just have a feeling. I know the whole narrative is that, well, Kalen DeBoer kind of owns Kirby Smart for whatever reason. It's not even a narrative. That's just been the results, I guess. But I'm just feeling the other way. It's just kind of a gut feeling. I like the dogs in this spot to come back and win the SEC.
They're due, man. Georgia's due for a win against Alabama. It hadn't done a whole lot. I think I think they're 1-7 in the last 8 games against Alabama.
That was a big one. That was a big one.
Yeah, they're due.
I just kind of think of it as
a big one. Yeah,
I don't have enough faith or trust in Kalen DeBoer to think that you're going to go into the SEC championship game against Kirby Smart and walk out with a victory. I hate Kirby. I hate that dude so much. He's caused so much pain in my life. This hair is going to be back real quick. But yeah, I just don't trust Kalen DeBoer to be able to go in there and take care of business with the lights this bright. Like I know, in the regular season, all this stuff, but lights are brighter than they've ever been. Kirby shows up when that happens. We don't know what DeBoer is going to do in this situation. We know that he's played obviously, or he's coached obviously big football games before, specifically in the college football playoff. But Kirby is the one that I know is going to elevate his job and his team and his staff for this week.
Yeah, it's weird that Kirby Smart's just dominant against everybody, but he sees the Alabama helmet and just pees down his leg essentially. From time to time. I think that stops in this game. I have not been impressed with Alabama over the last 3 or 4 games or so. I think Georgia's kind of peaking at the right time. I think Kirby Smart gets over the hump in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think when you watch the game from earlier this season, Georgia had so many opportunities to win that game, and they didn't. They just kept, they miss a block on 4th and 1 where Cash Jones would have walked in the end zone. They dropped the touchdown pass, and I think Alabama was struggling in the second half of that game, and they couldn't put up points either. And it just took Georgia not being able to score for Alabama to win. So it just, I don't know, like Alabama had to play almost near perfect defensively to win that game. And I don't think Georgia's going to make those same mistakes. And if all else is equal, I think Georgia has the advantage in that regard.
Yeah, Georgia has a field goal kicker. Alabama really doesn't, and that's what it's going to come down to.
Yeah,
in this game,
ask Chris Marler about that. He'll tell you all about them not having a field goal kicker. But I will also say that in that game, Alabama scored all 24 of their points in the first half, came out of the second half and didn't score again. And it's like I feel like now it's up to Alabama to kind of counterpunch that again, where Georgia, they took your shots. They ended up getting the stops in the entire second half. Now it's up to Alabama to do something new, because you're not going to start off with 24 in the first half and Georgia's got 14. Like that, I don't think that I cannot look at this coaching staff again. I hate them with a burning passion. But they're the worst, Gordy. You can laugh. They're the worst. I hate them. I know they're going to ruin one Saturday of my life every year, which, to be fair, my team ruined 8 of them. But I will say, like, I can't look at this Alabama staff and say they're going to come out here and be able to answer what Georgia staff is going to do.
But Georgia's got to be cleaner on offense, too. I mean, they struggle a little bit against Georgia Tech, too, in that very same building. So they've got some things to work on themselves.
Well, if Georgia wins the game 35-10, and it's just not really a competitive game, does Alabama make? Yeah. Does Alabama make the playoff?
We're going to get in. We're going to get into the scenarios in the playoff here in a second, but yeah, I mean, I think that's the reality. Is I think Bama, where they moved them up a spot, the playoff committee did. So I think it kind of gives them a soft landing that even in a loss, Bama's in. But certainly, if they get blown out, and that's their 3rd loss, that combined with the blowout loss week 1 to Florida State, who turned out to be terrible. I mean, the Florida Gators beat them. That's how bad Florida State
All
is.
Right, dude. All right. Come on. I show up to the squad show, and you're just like, you know what I'm going to do? Ruin his day. I was having a good time.
It was a good win.
Zach's not here.
Yeah.
You guys look
That's
good.
right.
It's the first time all season you look good.
Control, Zach, come on.
But anyway, so I do think that plays into it. And look, Clint Chamberlain, I talked with him earlier today. He said the key is Kirby and rematches. Like Kirby, it's hard to get Kirby in the rematch. And you guys hinted at it. Played Saban and Bama in the SEC championship, lost, came back, beat them in the national championship. And so, look, I think there was something to the Saban having the edge over Kirby matchup. And yes, DeBoer is 2-0. But those games were very close. I don't think it's this thing that it just hangs over Kirby's head and, oh my God, I see Crimson and I forget how to coach football. I think we're gonna get Georgia's best effort.
It seems like it, but yeah, it's gonna be an interesting match nonetheless, because like you have a little element of Alabama struggling offensively. Ty Simpson just can't get in a rhythm at times against Auburn, especially. You could argue that they probably should not have won that game. They made some plays late, and they made just enough plays to get out of that building with a win, which is impressive. But you look at both teams, just there's a lot to fix. There's some injuries, some people that are banged up. Georgia's lost its starting center, Drew Bobo, so that's got to be a huge hit. So
tight end Cuevas is likely out.
Cuevas is out. That's a safety net for Ty Simpson. You can tell when he's out or banged up or ineffective. Ty Simpson seems to get scrambled a little bit. So,
speaking of which, there's no way that Ty Simpson's 100% healthy after Auburn put him through that last week.
Yeah, he got hit like every play.
Yeah, he got rocked.
Yeah, they've crushed him.
So give me your predictions real quick, Steven. Who wins? What's the score?
Georgia 28-10.
Ooh, 10. Oof. Brandon.
I'm gonna say Georgia. I'm giving them 28. I'm gonna say 18 though.
28-18. Corey.
Georgia 31-20.
I'll say 24-17 dogs.
So they're covering the spread. Got it. Cool. By the way, this just in Florida, they're going to run this weird thing next year, like a little incognito night. They're going to wear Alabama helmets when they play Georgia next year, and then we'll test the theory. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
I'd love to be I'd love to be the contrarian and take Alabama. I think they have a chance if Ty Simpson plays well. Look, I will give Ryan Grubb and Keelan DeBoer credit when they've gone for it on fourth downs this year. God, it just works out for them.
Demons.
I mean. Last week I'm screaming for kick the field goal against Auburn. You take the lead, and they go for it, and they get the touchdown on fourth down. So it was a great call.
It's a team that knows they're going to win no matter what. So let's go for it.
Yeah. You play that slot machine enough, it's going to backfire on you.
Yeah, you know all about that one.
Yeah,
you know all about that one.
But look, I took Georgia at SEC Media Days to win the SEC, so I'm going to stick with the Georgia Bulldogs. But I do think both teams get into the playoff. Do you think they will both get? When we return, we'll talk about who from the SEC will get into the playoff. How many playoff teams will the conference get? We're talking that next.
The answer is 7.
Hey, NFL Sundays move fast, one big play, and suddenly everything feels different. That's what makes betting with FanDuel so exciting. You're not just watching the game, you're reacting to it in live time. With FanDuel, you can place bets as the action unfolds, every drive, every momentum swing, every highlight moment. Live betting is best when the game starts to shift. A receiver gets hot, a defense is tightening up, or the momentum flips after a turnover. FanDuel, they let you jump into the moment. Live spreads and money lines adjust instantly. Again, great action up there, especially the SEC championship game happening this weekend. You can get in there. Georgia versus Alabama. They have got that for you up at FanDuel.com. Player props as well. So if you want to be right in the middle of the action this season, all you got to do, visit FanDuel.com, place your NFL live bet all season long. FanDuel, the game moves fast. So can you at FanDuel.com.
All of the teams.
He said
SEC
without a
entire
squad, talking more ball. Continue on here, guys. And we got the playoff rankings the other night, the penultimate. Use that as a word as we get one more batch coming up on Sunday. And as we look at the playoff rankings, we got Georgia at 3, Ole Miss 6, A&M 7, Oklahoma 8, Bama 9, and there's Texas and Vanderbilt sitting there at 13 and 14 respectively outside of the top 12. So, look, might be easy to just say 5, but how many teams does the SEC get in the playoff, guys?
Screw the other team. 7. No. I think 5. I mean, honestly, it's I think Bama is in a position where unless they just get flat out embarrassed, like 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns, losing, I think they're in. But Oklahoma's in. I think worst case scenario 4 teams, but I think they're going to get 5 because this game's going to be relatively close.
Yeah, the only way it's 4 teams is if Georgia just trucks Alabama to the point where something happens and they figure out a way to get Notre Dame and Miami into the field.
Not the only way.
Or BYU wins.
BYU
wins the Big 12. I think
Texas Tech.
You could get Bama,
but then Notre Dame would have to jump Bama, which I don't know. Is that going to happen?
Well, I mean, if Alabama loses, even if it's close, and BYU beats Texas Tech, I could easily see the case of saying I could see it.
Bama would be out in that scenario.
Yeah. Sorry, I got confused there. For sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Bama would be out in that scenario.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that happening of BYU winning. Now, is BYU gonna win? I don't know. They kind of. Where's the belt? Hold on. They kind of got. They kind of got.
Everybody on the edge is rooting for Texas Tech this weekend.
They kind of got a little bit of belt to ass last time they played Texas Tech. So we'll take out the belt.
It's off.
Since we're pulling a Spencer and talking BYU for a second, props to James Franklin for putting crumble cookies at his signing day press conference today after Crumble CEO basically donated and kept BYU's coach from going to Penn State. That is next level petty, and I'm here for it.
Which that would have been an awful hire. I just gotta say that. Like I love Kalani Sitake. I think he's a great coach. I
believe Jay Smith and I were the only ones in the offseason show predicted 5 teams for the SEC in the playoffs. So I'm going to give us a little pat on the back there.
I just feel like this dumbass committee. I mean, they're trying to every year. Their goal is to try to do the easiest thing, right? Like they put no thought into this crap. They say we're not even looking at the AP rankings, and then when their first rankings come out, they almost identically match the coaches poll and the AP poll. So I just think there's no critical thought in that room. They need to look at – they said strength of schedule was going to be a metric this year. It hasn't been. because there are teams that have played much tougher schedules with much better wins. We don't talk about resume wins. Who have you beaten? And all they look at is numbers. And Kirk Herbstreit's reiterated it. Steve Sarkisian said it this week. You know what? We're just going to start scheduling cupcakes non-conference because it doesn't matter. A close 7-point loss to Ohio State on the road, it doesn't matter. They just go, what was the loss? Okay, well, if all that matters is wins, we're going to schedule Rice, Charlotte, Sam Houston State, all the cupcakes.
Yeah, for as much as Texas is an unsympathetic victim here, it's almost impossible to argue with that logic. It really is.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I'll be open about it. I'm glad. I hope that Texas every year makes it so close and has a great resume, but they do something stupid at some point to shoot them in the foot because that fan base deserves it. And I know people are going to say the same thing about Florida if they were good, but we're not good. So we'll cross that bridge when we get there.
This sequel to 2024 Ole Miss has just been a banger. So I do appreciate the debate.
Yeah, Vanderbilt finally joined the chat as far as teams getting left out. So it just seems like every time Vanderbilt beats somebody, they just plummet them off the rankings because, hey, you lost to Vanderbilt, so you have to suck. So we can't thank you.
They almost put a 50 burger on Tennessee on their field and didn't move in the rankings.
Moved down in the AP poll.
Yeah. It's like, no, they just didn't want Vandy in there for TV ratings and the committee's just doing whatever. Vandy absolutely should be in the top 10 at this point.
They have as good of an argument as anybody in that same range, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm telling you something else right now. Ohio State wouldn't want to play Vandy right now.
Vandy's red hot right now.
It's kind of a joke. I mean, we look at Ohio State and Indiana. They've been 1-2 all year, so we just say they're in. But do me a favor and go look at who Indiana's played the last 6 games. I mean, it's a joke.
It's the other side of your Texas argument, the same one you're making. Yeah,
it's the equivalent of playing 6 Mississippi States in a row. Like you haven't even been challenged.
Hey,
so,
Mississippi State has something to say about that. No, Purdue
Texas to overtime.
Mississippi State would run Purdue out of the building.
I know nobody seems to think Oklahoma. We haven't talked about Oklahoma at all. I honestly think Vanderbilt is a better team than Oklahoma right now. I would rather in the playoff. I would rather play the Sooners because Diego Pavia scares me. John Mateer does not. That is a great Oklahoma defense. Don't get me wrong. I just think Vanderbilt overall is the better football team right now. And by the way, just one thing quickly to Gordy's point about the committee being inconsistent. Well, for example, does head-to-head matter or not? You've got Oklahoma ahead of Alabama. They have the same record right now. Correct me if I'm wrong. Same thing, though. Notre Dame, Miami. Well, Miami behind Notre Dame. So, again, just a lot of inconsistency there.
Our friend, Arkansas athletic director, Hunter Yurachek, who is very well respected and absolutely a wonderful
everybody loves him.
Athletic director. He's amazing. Said that head-to-head doesn't even count unless they're ranked next to each other. That's what he said. And
this is
it is one of those things. You can't take strength of schedule or head to head or anything into account until they're right next to each other. So yeah, makes sense. Automatic qualifiers. We're not laughing now, are we?
Well, I'll say this: the TV ratings matter too. I mean, they want to put. It's about getting the best teams, but like, you know what? If there's a way for me to see Arch Manning and Diego Pavia in the playoff. I'm sorry, James Madison and Tulane. I'd rather see the Stars than.
Whoa, dude! You could have mentioned so many other programs.
You got a Heisman frontrunner sit out. You're gonna have a Heisman frontrunner sit out of the playoffs. That's just wild.
Well, and that's the problem too with the Heisman is we saw the Vegas odds jumped up this week. Diego Pavi's in the driver's seat. The problem is he doesn't play this weekend.
Yeah,
and both Julian Sayin and Fernando Mendoza do, and they play each other.
That's not ideal for Diego Pavia sitting in the driver's seat in a tight race, but who knows?
Well, I'll say this:
if Big Ten championship 7-3,
yeah, if it's a rock fight,
that happened.
You're telling me there's a chance.
The Jaden Daniels year, Jaden Daniels did not play conference championship weekend. Bo Nix and Oregon did, but he sucked so bad they were like, no, we're not giving Bo Nix the Heisman, and so Jaden Daniels got it. So it could happen for Pavia.
I don't think the world's ready to see Diego Pavia win the Heisman, but
in New York City.
In New York City,
I think we're ready to see his mom, right? They'll put her up
in New York City.
In New York City,
with Theo Vaughn, you know.
Yeah.
So, all right, guys. Well, let's as we wrap it up. So you think there's no case for any other SEC team to get in here into the playoff?
Absolutely not.
No, I think max 5, possible 4.
Can I throw something out there here at the end of the show? We were just talking about, a bunch of variables there. This initial bracket here, you've got a couple rematches in the first round: Notre Dame and Texas A&M, Oklahoma, Alabama. Are you guys in favor of changing the seedings at all to avoid those types of matchups? Because I am. I don't know the most fair way to do
Once
that.
you
It
get your
sounds
field,
unfair, but
reseed it however you want is my opinion.
I think you have a situation. Just take whoever the lower 2 seeded teams are and flip them if they're back to back. And then
just don't mess with the home teams.
Yeah, don't mess with the home team.
Okay, that makes sense.
The venues would change though, right? Because Bama lost to Oklahoma in Tuscaloosa, so they would play in Norman, and then same thing, Notre Dame, A&M, they would play in College Station. So same matchup, but different venues would change the game.
I still would like to avoid it, but I don't even know if that's fair. I was just curious to hear what you all thought about it.
Yeah, I think my stance on it is as simple as I think you should just rank the teams. Like I don't think you should care. Like I know they do care about this and they do talk about this. I'm sure they talk about the rematches. I'm sure they talk about, imagine if we can get Arch Manning versus whoever and make that a show. Like personally, and again, I know there's too many factors and too many people involved to do this. Just rank the 12 best teams and let's put them on a football field and let's just see them. I don't care about a matchup, a story, a rematch. I don't care. Just put the 12 best football teams in the country. Sorry, the 10 best football teams in the country, whichever group of 5 team gets in, and God forbid the ACC makes it in because oh my good, they're worse than the AAC right now. But just put the 12 best teams you can. Let them play football and figure it out. I just want to see.
You're overcomplicated. I just say 1 through 12. Whoever's 1 through 12, you're the 12 best teams. That's what a ranking is.
Oh, well, no, that's what it should be. But they're giving these other.
But the group of 5, I'm sorry, if you're good enough, get into the top 12. I think Boise last year would have been
12 is enough for the group of 5. I'm with you there. If you can't get into the top 12, then okay. I mean, like you say, Boise back in the day would have gotten into the top 12. So that's what UCF would have gotten into the top 12. That's what
Cincinnati made the top 4.
So forget if you can't get in the top 12, the heck with you. I'm with you completely.
We also have the very real chance of what is regular season 7-5 Duke getting in.
I don't think they get in though. Would they?
They're not in.
I don't think Duke can get in because
and
at
then
that
Dick
point,
Vitale
if James Madison
his
wins,
mind.
there's 2 G5 teams that would make the field, and that would be it'd be good for Ole Miss with the current seeding, but it would be bad for the college football playoff.
Yeah, but like if Troy beats if Troy wins. Whoever wins the Americans in, we know that it's North Texas Tulane, so we know that. If Troy beats James Madison, is Troy going to get in? Is UNLV Boise State like if Duke wins and the underdogs win in the group of 5 game? Which game are you which teams are you putting?
I think you just take the next best ranked team and throw them in there. Which would
I mean, we shouldn't be having a conversation of if they win their conference championship game. We should be having the conversation of just put the best 12 teams in. But at the same time, I will also argue that then also removes the just give automatic qualifiers argument to anything. If you want just the 12 best teams, then you can't go, well, 4 SEC teams should be in or 3 SEC teams should be guaranteed. Like that does remove that argument. If we're just saying put the 12 best, then we also have to say no automatic qualifiers.
Well,
they can't.
4 SEC teams would be among the 12 best.
Exactly. But that's because they're in the top 12. If we're saying, 4 SEC teams and we've got, like 2 in the top 10 and then 1 at 15, 1 at 16, they shouldn't be in because we want automatic qualifiers. Like the top 4 would be in there anyway. So I don't think you need those because SEC Big 10, they're going to have 3-14 minimum, like in that range. I just think that, just put the 12 best. That's all I want to see. Just good football. And I'm a Florida Gators fan.
You have clean bids, all that stuff. You have a clean tournament with seeding and top to bottom, no buys, all that stuff. Just 16, play it out. It's a good, clean tournament number, and let's roll.
I think 8's enough, to be honest with you. But we're never going back. We're never going backwards.
Yeah, it's not going back.
That's too much money.
All right. So
go high school style. Go 32.
Let's say Duke makes the playoffs. Okay, they get into the field. They have to go to Autzen Stadium and play Oregon.
They will be 43 point underdogs.
Yeah, how bad will they get beat in that game? Because they lost to UConn. They legitimately lost to UConn in football.
I just had a nightmare scenario for you, Steven. James Madison, Ole Miss goes, we got a great draw. And James Madison goes into Oxford and wins. And then Lane Kiffin tweets, good try, Rebels. Oh, my God. He'll need security at his house
Is Bob
Somebody will
Chesney
try to run him
coaching
off the road again.
Yeah, is Bob Chesney even?
Do we know,
coaching?
is Bob Chesney coaching if he's in the playoff?
I'm not sure.
I would assume. Yeah.
Anybody that you play, even a G5 team, is going to be a good team, honestly. But if Tulane, if Tulane wins their game, that would be another rematch potentially up there with Ole Miss and Tulane and Oxford for something to look at.
Well, it's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. At least the SEC's got a bunch of seats at the table this year, and we'll see how it plays out here in the next couple weeks. But that'll do it for this edition of the Squad Show. Appreciate Corey, John, Stephen, Brandon. I'm Chris Gordy. This has been our Squad Show. Remember to follow and subscribe to your favorite SEC show. We'll be covering your favorite teams every day throughout the rest of the season and into the offseason. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, now the #1 sports podcast network out there
in the world.
Number one on the field, number one in your heart.
Oh.
In a world.